Hi, I'm Sam, and you're watching Shot for Shot. Now let me start by saying I love these movies. I can quite confidently say these are a couple of the best teen comedies of the last 20 years. The reason I'm comparing these two movies in particular is because of how similar they are. I'll speak about it a bit more later, but they share a lot of the same action beats. The premise is similar: a group of uncool friends go to the big end of year party. So before we dive in, go and watch these movies if you haven't already, because there's going to be spoilers. As I'm recording this video, Superbad is on Netflix and Booksmart is on Amazon Prime. Without further ado, let's put Booksmart and Superbad head to head. Now, it's unusual for comedies to be particularly oozing style. There is usually more focus on substance with the jokes and dialogue. Let's start with Superbad. Superbad is by no means a bad looking film, but the dialogue of the film outshines it by a long way. The cinematography does what it needs to. However, Booksmart is not short of visual flair. A particular long take towards the end of the film comes to mind. Now, Olivia Wilde credits her talented cast and Steadicam operator Chris Harhoff for the success of the shot. The use of slow motion is fantastic. Olivia Wilde, her writers, producers and cinematographer pushed the envelope of what it means to be stylish in comedy, and for that reason Booksmart of course wins this round. Now, a lot of people have opinions on this particular section, and it is ultimately subjective because people like to quote different things, but the memorability and quotability of some of these lines are unmistakable. Let's talk Superbad. Let me first say Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen are geniuses. Now, it's probably easier to say what line in this film isn't quotable. From
Why the f would it be between that or Muhammad? Why don't you just pick a common name like a normal person?
Muhammad is the most commonly used name on earth. Read a book for once.
to
Well, Jules, the funny thing about my back is that it's located on my.
and who can forget?
She wants to me. She wants my in and around her mouth.
The dialogue in this film is loud, lewd, and a league of its own. Now, you're probably thinking this section is over before it even begun, but Booksmart is a heavy hitter in its own right, with lines such as
Nobody's winning in that outfit.
Sit down.
to,
Probably just do a Korean face mask.
I don't need to know all the words.
and of course,
It's what we did in my summer program last year in Barcelona, when I lived in Barcelona.
the writer of Booksmart did a great job of making the dialogue timeless and incredibly funny. However, it will come to nobody's surprise that this round goes to Superbad. Now, this is the first category I genuinely struggled with. Both films have great side characters, so just to be clear, this means the only character who isn't Seth, Evan or Fogel from Superbad, or Molly and Amy from Booksmart. Let's go with Booksmart first for this one. Now, Jared is my favourite side character from either film. I think everything he says is golden. Jared is worth the price of entry in my opinion. All the other actors playing kids knock it out of the park. Jason Sudeikis as the principal turned Lyft driver is genius, and Lisa Kudrow and William Forte as Amy's parents is just hysterical. Now for Superbad, let's start with the love interests, Jules and Becca. They're okay, there have some funny lines here and there, but nothing special. The real heavy hitters in this section are Bill Hader and Seth Rogen as Officer Slater and Officer Michaels. Endlessly funny, but incredibly important by the end. They steal every scene they're in from the moment they first come into the liquor store. So as I said, this is a tough one, but I think because of the sheer legendary status, it has to be Superbad. Now, this is a difficult one for me to judge personally because I wasn't on set. However, you can sort of catch a vibe from behind the scenes clips and gossip from how the cast gelled. So for Superbad, I'm mainly looking at the big three: Seth, Evan and Fogel. As outrageous as the dialogue is, you can tell they had a lot of fun with each other on set, despite Jonah Hill being 5 years older than Michael Cera. It's easy to see Chris Clemens plus as the outsider here, but I think that's just his character. Him and Michael Cera are a similar age and were likely friends off screen. Now let's talk Booksmart. The whole cast are all a similar age, and actually the oldest actor is B.D. Feldstein at 25. Beanie and Caitlin Dever are friends off screen, and their on-screen chemistry is electric. So I think because of the age thing and how friendly these actors are off screen, Booksmart takes the cake. So for our final category, I thought I'd put it down to an important moment both of these movies share. A watershed moment in the friendship of our two main characters. It's the scene where Seth finds out Evan is rooming with Fogel in college, and the scene where Molly finds out Amy is taking a gap year in Botswana. These moments need to be carefully handled by the writer, because fighting with your best friend is not meant to be funny. I'm going to be straight up and say I prefer Booksmart's handling of the situation. I think Superbad's is funnier, but I generally feel the tension between Molly and Amy. Obviously both situations are resolved by the end, but the airport scene at the very end of Booksmart is way more impactful because this scene happened. Whereas I feel like the issue in Superbad is glossed over and doesn't impact the story going forward. If you want it to be played for laughs, you will prefer Superbad. If you want to feel something, Booksmart's the winner. So technically, Booksmart for me is the better movie, but you can't sleep on Superbad. As I said at the start of the video, I love both of these movies and they are both in the very top echelon of teen comedies, but neither of them are as good as Lady Bird.
Sure is like New York, or at least Connecticut or New Hampshire, where writers live in the woods.
Get into those schools anyway.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Here's a clue as to what the next head-to-head will be. I'll see you next week. Take care until then.